Hello, everybody. It is Laura Lala Key, international real estate agent, also known as the Realty Goddess. And today we're going to talk about some really important details on the new development of the HUD department. As you all know, we are under a new administration in 2025. But first, I want you to please make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel for more great information on home ownership. Listen, let's dig right into it. So the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is at the center of major changes. A proposed cut of 50% of the workforce reduction and the recovery of $1.9 billion in misplaced funds. Now, these developments have sparked concerns across the housing sector, especially given the country's ongoing affordable housing crisis. Now, I should know this. Places like California, the homelessness is through the roof. But this isn't the first time HUD and former President Donald Trump have made headlines together. So from historical lawsuits to controversial policies during his presidency, Trump's relationship with HUD has been complex and often very contentious. So let's break down the current situation. I want to make note that during the first term of Trump, he appointed Ben Carson, who is a brain surgeon, and he had no housing related qualifications whatsoever. This term in 2025, he has put in and appointed, and it has been confirmed that Scott Turner, who was appointed by Trump this year, was a current football player who served in Trump's first administration in a different capacity. But he has also been a Texas legislator who voted against protections for poor tenants. HUD employees are bracing for a significant cut as the Trump administration moves to reduce staff up to 50%. This is not new. This is what's happening. This is what's going through not just HUD, but many other departments. FAA was cut. Also, Veterans of Affairs was cut. Consumer Protection Agency were cut. People are being offered packages to just get out of government jobs. And in some departments, the reductions could go as high as 75% at the HUD department. So Housing Secretary Scott Turner, who recently launched the Department of Government Efficiency Task Force, has positioned the move as a necessary step to wasteful spending. However, Antonio Gaines, who is the president of the HUD Council 222, warned that these cuts would devastate critical services, including homelessness assistance, disaster recovery, and 3, civil rights enforcements. All of these things are being thrown out the window by this current administration. Amid these planned cuts, the DOGE task force announced a surprising discovery that $1.9 billion has been misplaced in HUD funds. And according to a post on X, formerly Twitter, the funds were earmarked for administrative costs, but were never used due to what DOGE calls a broken process under the Biden administration. But now listen, they're saying that this goes all the way back to 7 years. And if that's the case, it began with the Trump administration under Carson. So what is all the fallout of this, and what is going to be the market impact? In tandem with staff reductions, HUD has also announced the termination of green and resilient retrofit programs. That was a $1 billion initiative designed to help property owners improve energy efficiency in HUD subsidized buildings. All right, I want you to let that soak in. So let's go back a little bit against what HUD and Trump's battle has been. So in 1973 was when Trump had his first interaction with HUD. And it's because the Department of Justice, which he has also been trying to get rid of, sued his family's company, Trump Management Company, for violating Fair Housing Acts. The lawsuit alleged that the company systematically refused to rent apartments to Black applicants in New York City. So there was evidence. The investigators found applications from Black renters were often marked with codes like C for colored. So what was the outcome of this? The Trumps settled the case in 1975 without admitting guilt, but agreed to change their practices. However, HUD filed a follow-up complaint in 1978, citing continued discriminatory behavior. During the 1980s, Trump used HUD-backed subsidiaries to fuel his rise in Manhattan real estate. One of his most famous deals was the redevelopment of the Commodore Hotel into the Grand Hyatt. Now, HUD-backed tax breaks and subsidiaries played a significant role in this project's profitability. Trump later pursued similar deals for other properties benefiting from HUD's programs intended to stimulate urban development. Now, critics accused him of exploiting these programs for personal gain while providing minimal public benefit. When Trump took office in 2017, he appointed retired neurosurgeon Ben Carson to lead HUD. The administration introduced several controversial policies, and one being the AFFH rule repeal, the Affirmative Furthering Fair Housing, that's AFFH rule, designed to promote housing desegregation, was rolled back. Trump claimed that the move would protect suburban neighborhoods, while housing advocates warned it would be exuberantly segregated. Multiple budget proposals from the Trump White House sought to slash HUD funding, particularly for Section 8 and other housing assistance programs. Without these programs, first-time home ownership really gets cut in half or almost impossible. Because what people don't realize, Section 8 also has a home ownership program as well to help people get off of Section 8 and into home ownership. He also wanted to create opportunity zones. So while promoted as tools to revitalize struggling communities, the Opportunity Zone program disappropriately benefited wealthy investors with ties to Trump's political allies. The current cuts and fund recovery come against the backdrop of Project 2025. Okay? People don't like to put those two together. But if you have not had the opportunity to read Project 2025 in its entirety, I advise that you do. Now, critics argue these changes could worsen the nation's housing crisis. We are really in a housing crisis, which has already reached record highs for homelessness, especially after COVID. So former HUD Secretary Sean Donovan also voiced concerns that these moves could destabilize the whole housing market. So what's next for HUD? I don't know, because I am really a firm believer in what HUD does. I have helped so many people buy their first-time homes using the HUD programs or taking advantage of the HUD homes that are put out. I have also helped people move from Section 8 into home ownership. I have also helped with down payment assistance programs that were backed by the HUD. I have also taught many classes so that people can be taught and obtain down payment assistance programs through the HUD nonprofit organization. So as HUD employees await their clarity about their futures, the DOGE task force continues its work. And I really don't call it that. The union representing HUD staff has promised to challenge the layoffs, while housing advocates are calling for more transparency regarding the recovered funds. Meanwhile, the broader housing market remains on edge. With rising costs, increased demand, and shrinking federal support, millions of Americans can face an even greater challenge in securing affordable housing. So please make sure that you stay tuned to this channel. Make sure that you like, share, comment. This is not a place for bashing. This is a place for information. And what I'm seeing right now is a serious danger to home ownership, which I am a firm believer in. Home ownership gives you power. Home ownership gives you pride. Home ownership leads to generational wealth. But we're going to have to continue to watch this saga between Trump, his housing policies, and his federal oversight. I am Laura Key, the Realty Goddess. And I hope that you do listen and tap in to this channel. If you are looking to buy, I have many resources for you. All you have to do is go to my website, which is www.laurakey.net. I do have a budget ebook for you that is 14 pages long that will help you to look at your finances from the beginning all the way to the end and give you a blueprint of how you can get started for saving for home ownership. It's not impossible. I don't care how many people tell you it's hard. I don't care how many tell you that it's impossible. It's not, because I have been able to hand keys to people who never thought that they could ever own a home. If you want it, we can help you go get it. So until next time, I wish you nothing but love and light and so many blessings that you cannot hold them all. Why not go out on a limb? Isn't that where the fruit is? See you next time. Be the light. Sugar. Bye.